Hello there.
Right, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody, and welcome to what is going to be a little bit of a different stream for me. Normally I'm playing Lotra or something, but today, as you can see by this big-ass box in front of me, and the stream title, we are going to be examining my latest example of poor financial judgment. I spent a hell of a lot of money that I probably should not have. But yeah, in terms of anybody who's watching this, oh, by the way, Connor, thank you very much for the follow a few minutes ago. I do appreciate that, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, a little bit of background. I've been playing games pretty much all of my life, since like the late 1970s or so. Something kind of game that I've really enjoyed all that time has been flight sims, space games, that kind of thing. I blame Star Wars for that. I was 4 years old when the first Star Wars movie came out, and that's my first coherent memory, is leaving the theater having been absolutely blown away by Star Wars. And that's like informed my choices in entertainment and so on ever since then, reading books, movies, etc. Most pertinently so in terms of what we're doing here today, computer games and space games, especially the flight side of space games. Things like currently Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen, looking to expand that a little bit. Hopefully the new Starfield that's coming out allows you to fly a ship, or it does. I'm just hoping it allows you to fly one quite well. Yeah, and for that you need flight sticks, joysticks and so on. I have been using a Thrustmaster Warthog for the last 12 years, but that is starting to show its age, and things are starting to wear out. So I thought it was time for an upgrade. I didn't need to spend as much as I did. I could have spent a hell of a lot less, but like I said, poor financial judgment. But yeah, not to waste any time, let's get on with the show. If you'll give me a minute, I'm going to need to move this box off the desk. It's too big to reach into from here, so you'll be looking at the top of my head for a minute or two. If you will just excuse me while I get things sorted out here quickly. Oh. Yeah, that box weighs like 12 kilos. And I don't know why. I'm wondering if they didn't slip something extra in here on the way from Lithuania. But yeah, what is in this box is 2 joysticks. The mounts for them that attach to the desk. And that's all that I can think of. I really don't know why it's so big. Put that away. I'm not going to complain if they gave me extra stuff. box number 1. Okay, that's nice and light. Okay, that is one of the joysticks. I'm guessing, oh, that's probably one of the, that's a desk mount. We'll put that to one side for now. This is quite cool. This is called a Z extension. We'll play with that in a little while. It basically turns a vertical joystick into a joystick that sits on its side, so you can use it more like a throttle. There's one of the bases. One of the things that make, Virpil as expensive as they are, boxes and boxes. Krilikov, hi there, how are you doing? Yeah, one of the things that makes Virpil so expensive is they don't sell a joystick as a complete unit. They sell you a base, which is the gimbal, which detects the movement of the joystick. And then on top of that, they sell you the actual joystick itself, the thing with all the buttons that you hold in your hand. Because that allows for a lot more customization and customability, or whatever the word is. There's another CM3 base. And I went for the fancy ones, which I possibly didn't need to. Desk mount adapter. And desk mount adapter, I would imagine. Yep. Right, so one of those is also a desk mount, if we will. Yeah. All right, so that's the base. That's a joystick. That's a joystick, and that'll be, there we go. That's the base. All right, so let's pop one of these out. I'll show you what I mean by base and stick being separate. Okay, that's the actual stick. One of the things about these, well, I hesitate to say unfortunately, is that they do take a lot of setting up initially. So it's going to be, as much as I've waited 2-3 months, well, 2 months basically for these to arrive, it's going to be 2-3 hours before I actually get to play with them. Because there's a lot of hardware setup and then software setup that you need to do. Not just in the Virpil software, but in the things like VJoy and Joystick Gremlin and that kind of thing, so that you can get the different games that you're going to be using it with to see the joystick the way you want it to. All right, there we go. Got to say, the packaging is quite nice. It's good. It's nice and solid. None of these boxes look dented or anything in the slightest. Which I should bloody hope they don't, given, like I say, how much money I spent on these. Nice bit of impact foam. Oof, it's quite solid. Right, let's see what they give us. There's a USB cable, springs, and cans. All right, one thing, I'm going to start with a criticism. Up until quite recently, Virpil, when you bought this stuff, used to put in the box all the tools that you need to open them up and to modify and adjust and that kind of thing. Nowadays, they don't. Now they sell you that is stiff. Nowadays, they sell you a $30 toolkit with all the tools that they recommend and need for their stuff. Which is a little unfortunate, because it's not like the price went down. But just to explain what you're seeing in front of you here, this is the gimbal. This is the where the springs and all the sensors and that kind of thing go. So when you turn the stick left or right, it picks that up, informs the computer, and it translates that into movement in the game. Now, the degree, you can see what I mean here about this is really stiff. And that is determined by these springs. There's 3 different kinds. There's mild, medium, and heavy. There's underneath these little things is something, there's a pre-tensioner, which I think is probably turned all the way up, where you can set a degree of stiffness in the axis, and you can set it in each individual axis. So, for example, on my left side, I'd like the stick to move freely forwards and backwards, but I want it to actually be quite stiff left and right. I want it to be almost a force sensing joystick. One USB cable per joystick. Yes, Connor, it is, but you'll see there's 2 ports. There's the USB port, which connects to, what am I? Oops, I'm bumping my mouse and changing things. 1 second, let me just get that out of the way. Right, so you've got the USB port, which goes to the USB hub or whatever you've got it plugged into, and then you can plug another device into this auxiliary output, so you can actually daisy chain the devices to each other. I don't know if it's all of the devices or just the, because they also sell, what do you call it? Like control panels with extra buttons, extra button boxes, like a flaps lever, and so on and so forth, that you can connect to these. But yeah, no, it is a device, a USB cable per device, but I mean, 4-port hubs are nice and cheap. So that's really not a problem. Right, this is the base. Let us move on to the joystick. Which one is this? This is the right-handed stick. They come in right and left-handed flavors these days. Now, this is another thing where I spent more money than I really needed to, because I went for the fancy one. Like I was saying, up until now, I've been using a Thrustmaster Warthog, which is an all-metal device. And when I was doing my shopping around, looking for like what can I do to upgrade this and what can I replace it with and that kind of thing, I was looking at not just the Virpil stuff. I was also looking at VKB, who are quite a bit cheaper. They're actually very, very good value for the look of it, but they're all plastic, and that did not appeal. Right, this is the joystick, the right-handed joystick. This, let's compare it. This is what I've been using up until now. This is the Thrustmaster Warthog with the base attached. And yeah, as you can see, it's a little old, it's a little tattered, it's showing its age. And here's the new one. There's quite a few more buttons on this. Quite a few more functions. So yeah, which is part of why it costs so much extra, but it's also the... sorry, I'm getting confused and tripping over my words. I was talking about the Virpil stuff. Or the VKB stuff. I didn't like it because it was plastic. Virpil also make a injection molded plastic version of this, which I thought, no, I didn't want plastic, so I went for the metal, and it cost me quite a bit more. But I think it is a bit of it's supposed to be, from all the, well, from the few reviews I managed to find, it is supposed to be somewhat a justifiable upgrade over the previous version, that's plastic injection molding, or injection molded plastic at least. But yeah, it's going to take some getting used to. It's a different shape. It's quite a bit fatter across the base of the palm here. But sure, to just demonstrate how this all goes together, let me not bend the pins while I'm doing it. Right. If you hear me suddenly start swearing, you know I got it wrong. There we go. BKB Gladiators are a good stick, or at least my understanding. Oh, Jesus, yeah, that is really heavy set. But that's also quite nice because it will allow for a fair degree of precision. But yeah, you can loosen that up quite dramatically. Although I'll probably fiddle with that off stream because it's going to take a lot of fiddling and taking things apart, and you will hear me swearing and so on and so forth. I have spent, Connor, the last 2 months with a PDF document with all the button templates, thinking about what I'm going to put there, put where and put here and put there. Yes, they do, Goshel. And afternoon, how are you doing? Welcome. Glad that you could join us. They do let you play with your joystick. All right. As much as this is very, very stiff, it's not usable like this. Certainly not like this. You can, like I was showing earlier with the different cams, different cams and different springs. I'll be able to make the throw on this a lot lighter, especially given that I'm going to be using a, one sec, here it is. Sorry. I haven't decided which one I'm going to use just yet, but I have extensions which make the stick longer and give you a lot more torque in terms of, as you can see, that's 20 centimeters long. Gives you a lot more torque when you move the joystick, so it allows you to make larger deflections up at the top for a much smaller deflection. Yeah, no, doing quite well, thank you. Glad to hear you're having a good day. But yeah, large deflection up top, very small precise deflection around the center of the joystick. That comes in extremely handy in sims like DCS World, where you need an air-to-air refuel and that kind of thing. Especially in DCS World. I mean, precision in where your movements are with the joystick is very important in anything, especially when you're doing things like trying to get the air-to-air refueling, trying to line up a carrier approach and that kind of thing. So, yeah, the extra torque that gives you and the extra precision is quite welcome. Right, so where's the next one? There you go. You're not streaming today, Goshel? Actually, sorry, I'm being remiss. 1 second. You'll have to forgive me. I'm being a very pro streamer today, Goshel. My apologies. I hope that worked. Enter. There we go. Ah, you were playing The Witcher. Today is Thursday, so yesterday. How's that going? Are you finding it as frustrating as Ed was? Ah, okay. Well, I hope you don't have to work too hard. But yeah, for anybody who watches this who isn't familiar with Goshel, mostly a Lotro streamer, my kinmate on the Evernight server, very good fellow, very good friend of the channel, very entertaining streamer. So if you're interested in MMOs, particularly Tolkien-based MMOs, please do drop by his streams and say hello and drop him a follow. Otherwise, he plays things like Witcher 3, where I think you rage a little bit and shout and swear at the TV like I do. That can be a very frustrating game. But it's a very, very good game. That is one of the best games that's come out in the last... how long? I have no idea. Very, very long time. Right. Let us show you the Z extension. This is the left-hand stick. As you can see, the orientation is different to the right-handed stick. Predominantly the two buttons here on the side. This little hat, 5-way hat on the side here, and then the mini stick controllers. This actually is something I'm a little hesitant about. Obviously, I've never used it, so I'm going to see what it's like and see if I can get used to it. The button layout is slightly different to the Warthog. And this hat, which is, well, this is analogous to this. They behave quite differently. This is a thumbstick like you get on a games controller, whereas this is a normal hat, 4-way, well, actually 8-way hat, but you use it for trim. Excuse me, in aircraft. So I can set this up so that it behaves like an axis and also buttons. But the way that it moves is completely different to the way that this moves, and it's in a very different place. So that is going to take some getting used to. Also, this button, I'm used to things. It's going to be a lot of muscle memory that needs reloading and that kind of thing. Right, so that's the right-hand stick. Sorry, I didn't have a script for this, so which is why it's a little disjointed, perhaps. Ah, so they do give you one teeny tiny little Allen key, which is useful. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see? Just about. You can see just under the collar there. There's the 3 locking screws, which you are never going to get a regular sized Allen key into. So I'm glad that they gave us this. Where are we? Let's get this thing out. Itty bitty little thing. Teeny tiny. But where they gave us the Allen key to lock the collar, they did not give us the Allen key to lock this and adjust this. So you're going to need to supply your own for that. So it's a good thing I I did spend some money the last couple of weeks setting that up, or buying stuff. Right. Very carefully putting these together. You pull the stick. There's a little bit of give on the cable that's inside, like just 2-3 centimeters. So you just very carefully put out a little bit, and you align it. I don't know if you can see. There's a little arrow there on the left-hand side under my thumb. Ah, there we go. That's a better shot. You align that little, if you can see it, that little mark on the side of the cable. And carefully and gently, and not being a fat-fingered, fumbled fool the way I normally am, don't force it where it doesn't want to go. Signed up properly. Why is this not cooperating? Because I had it on the wrong way around. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, carefully, gently, and don't force it. Careful not to cross-thread things. Where the hell is it? Damn it. 1 second. that is my wake up from your afternoon nap, you lazy bastard alarm. And believe it or not, I have quite successfully slept through that multiple times. All right, that is how the device. Well, let me get it onto here so you can see. I'm actually thinking of putting this on a short extension to raise it up so it gives a little bit more throw. I'm not just thinking about using this in space sims, which is where people mostly use 2 joysticks. I'm also thinking of using this as a helicopter collective in DCS. Which way is this oriented? That. This cable, you actually need to twist it a little bit to line it up. Oh, wait, like that. There we go. So this is how this will work. One nice thing about these as well is they've also got twist. So that's why these work really, really well for flight sims, space sims, where you've got what's called 6 directions of freedom, where a normal plane flies forward based on thrust from behind, either from a jet engine or propeller in front or whatever. And you've got 2 planes of movement, three planes of movement. It's up and down, nose up, pitch up and down, yaw to the left and right, and then roll to the right and left. Whereas in your space games, you've also got translational movement, which is flat plane, left and right, forwards and backwards, and up and down, which you can do using hats and whatever on joysticks or on the throttle of a HOTAS system, but it works so much better, or is alleged to, and I believe it, when you've got a joystick in your left hand that you can use left and right for translational movements. And I'm liking what I feel here. I wanted to set that x-axis for left and right. I wanted to set that really stiff so that I only need to move it like that much to get full range of deflection. Whereas I'm going to take the springs out completely and use one of the things that makes this expensive, something called a drag clutch, where you can actually take the springs out so it doesn't have any centering force, and then apply a friction lock, a friction brake, so that when you push the stick forward, right now, as you can see, it springs back to the center. Whereas with that friction lock, I'll be able to push it forward and it will stay forward where I leave it. So it will act like a throttle, which has always been the downside to these 6-degree of freedom control systems. You've needed to use extra controls to manage the forwards and backwards side of things. But sure. That needs to turn a little bit more. There we go. But yeah, this definitely is going to want to go on a extension, I think, just to raise it up about another 5 centimeters. Right, so that's that one. It's I spent a ludicrous amount of money, gosh, and that's not everything. Excuse the mess down next to me, but I also spent money buying this, which is the throttle unit that goes along with it. This is mostly going to get used for fixed wing flight in like Microsoft Flight Sim, DCS, some of the aircraft and that kind of thing. So I'm definitely going to get use out of this. I also bought a set of rudder pedals, which are under the desk, so I'm not going to try and get the this camera looking underneath there. But yeah, it was the budget of a small African nation. My bank manager's like next 7 kids are all going to varsity thanks to the interest I'm going to be paying them. It really was not the most well executed judgment that I've ever had. But by all accounts, this is stuff my grandchildren will inherit and get good use from. So you buy it once, and well, I mean, what I'm replacing cost me $500, $600, $400, $500, $600, something around about there, and lasted me 10 years, 12 years, 10 to 12, somewhere around about there. And it's not that it's bad stuff that I'm replacing it. It's just, it's starting to show its age. Things are starting to wear out. It's starting to need maintenance and the like, and repair. And not just because I'm clumsy and fat-fingered and that kind of thing. So I thought it was time for an upgrade. Right, let's put the extension on. Let's just make sure these are properly... Yes. Mm. Those Logitech Extremes are actually quite good joysticks, certainly for the age. And they're certainly a lot more cost effective than, well, a lot cheaper than these. See, I'm not married, Connor. I live alone, and I have access to far more credit than is prudent. So I treat myself to nice toys. I'm finding I enjoy Star Citizen a lot more with the joystick. It was a bit of a mission to set things up, and it's going to be, depending on how quickly I go through this, I might actually do a bit of, I might transition into like either SC, probably ED, because SC's got an extra layer of, Star Citizen's got an extra layer of software setup that I'll need to do. Compared to Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous, I could just jump in and bind everything in the game. Whereas Star Citizen, I first need to run through joystick gremlin and so on and so forth. And I really need more light. Actually, you know what? Let's do this way. There we go. Eventually got it in. And no, that's what she said, Jokes, please. All right, one nice thing about these extensions is they also allow you to offset the angle of the handle a little bit if that's what you want. You can't. No, I've also got mounts, Goshal. I'm going to pop one of those out and set it up now. I'm just going to set it up. I'll set this up first. Well, I basically finished setting these up. But same mounting system as this. As you can see, it clamps to the desk. There's a vertical section and then a horizontal section that you can use to adjust the length, the height up and down, and that kind of thing. The throttle mount you can adjust forwards and backwards, whereas the joystick mounts only go up and down, unfortunately. Right, let's get that out of the way for now. Right, what am I? I'm going to have to play a bit of Tetris, especially down here on the left-hand side of the of my desk. I'm going to actually have to look at setting up, looking at new ways of having a keyboard tray. I've got enough space here on the right-hand side for the right-hand stick, but fitting the left-hand stick and the throttle close enough that they're both in a comfortable position, and still having room for this little very wobbly table that I put together for my keyboard and mouse. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. And if I need to get out of here to go to the bathroom or something, that's also going to be a challenge because there's just frickin' boxes everywhere. But yeah, well, thank you everybody for joining me for this. I hope it's somewhat interesting at least. Grown-ass man playing with his very expensive toys. That knife is filthy. It lives in my pocket. It doesn't get used very often. Right, that will probably need adjusting. Let's just see. Actually, yes, it will need adjusting. All right, I'll need to right. All Virpil owners apparently seem to end up with a box like this with Allen keys and wrenches and the extra little cams and springs and that kind of thing. So that would actually work, but I hate the problem being is the games I play outside of like Lord of the Rings and that kind of thing, gosh, they do have on foot first person shooter aspects and components to them. So those, hey Bob, how are you doing? Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, the wireless keyboard would be fine, but the trackball not so much for that. Where's my other prize pen? These are hen's teeth, size 10 spanners. They seem to have a mind of their own, and they just frickin' disappear. All right, how's it going, Bob? Look at my new babies. Which Virpil stuff do you have, though, Bob? You must have, you've at least got the throttle, don't you? No, not shirtless. Twitch may put up with me playing with my joystick, but They probably draw the line at me being half naked while I'm doing it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm rolling these up a little bit and then winding the rubber stopper down so that it, I'm not going to clamp it to this, but this is about the same thickness as my, that needs to come down a lot. Actually, I should just, instead of, am I going to do this? Let me clamp it here. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Okay, that's too far down. Hey, Sticky, how you doing? I'm already quite, but there's a lot of setup. There's a huge amount of setup. They've installed, let's actually just check 1 second. Actually, it won't be too bad on the flight stick, on the right side. It's quite stiff, but that's all right. But the left-hand stick is crazy heavy on the spring. So I'm going to need to swap out the cams and swap out the springs and tune things and so forth and so on. Sorry, I'm sure this is very, there we go, stimulating. But yeah, just need to get that to the right length. Oh, there we go, the Alpha with the Warbird. The Warbird is apparently a very, very, very good, very, very good base. What I'm actually thinking is if I'm going to hold on to the Warthog. So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe at some point when I've got money and I've paid some of this off, is getting a Warbird base for the Warthog and mounting the Warthog stick on that and using that for DCS and then just swapping between the sticks for like the space games, use the Alphas and the Warbird, the Warthog on the Warbird for the flight sims. Okay. Oh, okay, so that all, that's it, it's in 2 pieces, not 1. All right, that makes sense. Ish. So much crap on my desk now. Yeah, Bob, how do you find the where are we? How do you find this four-way the thumbstick for using it as a trim hat, or do you not use it as a trim hat? Do you use that like as TMS and DMS? Yeah, I was wary, and this was a concern before. It feels very nice. It feels like it's going to work very, very well as a thumbstick. I'm just not so sure how it's going to work as a four-way hat. Ah, okay. So do you use one of the other hats with a shift state? Because I'm thinking I'm going to set that up with access to button, have like at 0 and 100% have button, so that I can still use it in DCS, but I've got an idea that the Warthog stick may still be a better option in DCS. Or at least for like aircraft that have a TMS, a DMS, and a trim switch. Right. Pro tip, keep track of which screws and bolts and whatever came with which particular piece of gear. These came with this. And that's a long one for that. Right, these are going to be what mount this on here. And these are what mount or connect these together, like so. Right. The annoying thing, Bob, I don't know if you caught this earlier, is they don't give you the tools anymore. You need to supply your own, which is a little annoying and unfortunate. There we go. That's that size. All right, these are not a size 10. I'm going to have to dig up my, what is that, a 7 or an 8? I've got a Koki pin, or a marker pin. Where are we? Oh, too small. And just right. You know, I'm a paramedic, well, more in education these days than anything. So, yeah, working with tools like this, not my strong point. Well, you used to work on the actual aircraft that we fly in Sims, so I should hope that you've got a whole bunch of tools, bud. Yeah, my very dirty life. All right. This is going to go on the left stick. Okay, which one do we... Nope, next one down. That one, not that one. That one. Yeah. It's by the way, I might look like I know what I'm doing. And that's because I've spent so much of the last 2 months watching the same videos over and over and over and over, going, I want my new joysticks. So in the meantime, I kept myself sort of amused and coped with the craving by watching the videos again. So actually, let me give a shout out to the people who made those videos. One thing, and that's one of the reasons I'm actually live streaming this, because I mean, who the hell cares about some random middle-aged asshole unboxing joysticks? One of the reasons I'm thinking that this is maybe an idea to do this live stream, and I'll put it up on YouTube later, is when I was looking for information on the Virpil stuff and the VKB stuff and the etc stuff, I didn't find a whole lot of video reviews. There was actually a fairly... Hey, Carnage, how you doing? And I'm glad that you care. I do appreciate that. Carnage, didn't you just subscribe the other day? How are you resubscribing? But thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I swear you subscribed last week, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. Carnage, to give him a shout out, has very faithfully, I haven't streamed in the last 6 months, and like in the 3 months before that, I streamed like twice. And Carnage has very faithfully kept his subscription going through all of that time. So shout out to Carnage. Yeah, it's 11 months. Congratulations, buddy. I unfortunately have no idea. I'm a very pro streamer, so I never thought this far ahead. So I've got no idea what to do for people for like 12-month subscriptions and that kind of thing. So if you've got any ideas, by all means, let me know. Why is this not going on? Right. Just like sex, if you're forcing it, you're doing it wrong. Probably need to push that a little bit further forward. Actually, let me loosen these because I think that might be the problem. So I've tightened these before I should have. Yes, that has been a large part of why I've not been streaming, is, you know, not knowing if I'm going to have power, and when I do, it's been very frustrating. It's been better the last week or so, week 2-3 weeks, since I spent all that money. Hey Matt, how you doing? Yeah, it has been better since I spent all the money buying an inverter and batteries, but it's still not great. I think my power's going off at midnight, or it's supposed to go off. No, 10 o'clock tonight. There we go. Like I slathered it with lube before I stuck it in. If you don't mind me being a little vulgar. All right, one important thing with these is it's metal on metal. So if you wanted to, you could apply enough torque when screwing these down to basically weld the pieces of metal to each other. So pro tip, don't do that. Because you need to be able to... One of the reasons you're spending all this money buying Virpil stuff is so that you can open these up and customize them and change the settings. And if you weld the frickin' things together by being over ambitious with the actually, let's test that now. Which one is right? By being heavy-handed with the Torx driver now, you're screwed. Oh no, it's not that one, it's this one. This one I'm actually happy with being... Oh no, that's just a really freaking heavy spring. Or it feels like a really heavy spring. Oh, okay, no, I just loosened it. Or I think I just loosened it. Yeah, what I'm doing there is adjusting the amount of force required to deflect. That's probably because my microphone's over there. How's that? Any better, Matt? And thank you for letting me know. I can always... I can't. That's as high as it goes. Let me... 1 second. Nope, not that. Yeah, that's all the way up. That any better? That could be. That's weird. Is anybody else having issues hearing me? Or is it just Matt? This is a little bit big and unwieldy. Where's... Okay. Matt, the problem is you. But that's all right. We still love you. Sort of. Kind of. Most of the time. Nope. Too small. This is the annoying thing with hex drivers, is finding the right bloody one. Too small. I feel like the 3 frickin' bears after Goldilocks. Too big. That's not what she said. Come on, where's my itty bitty one in the middle? That's definitely too big. Actually, you know what? Sod's Law says it isn't. No, that's no fucking way. That's way too big. That's too small. This is why it's a bit annoying that they don't put the tools in the box anymore. Because you end up faffing looking for the right ones. Aha! There we go. Alright, another pro tip is, I'm not going to do it now because it was a ball ache to get the joystick on. Do this without the joystick on the base. Actually, yeah, that's quite possibly the spring tension, not the drag, the pre-tensioning. Right, what I actually want to do, okay, which one is which? Let's see if we can adjust that drag clutch that I was talking about earlier. Right, it's not really working. I think there's far too powerful a spring on it, and I'm getting to the point where I don't want it. That's as tight as it's going to go. So yeah, I am actually going to have to take this apart and take springs out before I can actually get the effect that I want. But ideally, like I was saying, it's kind of, I'm feeling there's a little bit less spring back on the stick now, but the idea is when I move the stick forward, it's going to stay there. And it will stay where I set it, so I can use it like a prop. Right, how high is this thing? This is where it's going to become challenging, is fitting it all in here. I don't need that one. I don't need that one. Right, but I'm going to start with this at the bottom and then adjust the height up as we go along. That's what she said. I've made that joke a few times already. What size are these? These are 8s or 10s. That's the annoying thing, is they're also, it'd be nice if they chose a size. And, well, then again, I guess you do need different size stuff for different size things. All right. If I start dropping screws and bolts and stuff, you are going to start hearing me swear. So I apologize in advance. My neighbors probably think I beat my kids and are wondering why they've never seen those kids, given I don't actually have any. They just hear me shouting and swearing profanity and stuff at my computer, but I don't know if they realize that. I don't know if they realize that it's my computer I'm shouting and swearing at. And I don't know which is worse. Nope. Yep. Right, again, you will be adjusting these in the future, so no need to weld them together. Just finger tight is plenty adequate. Oh wait, not that one. That one. I was about to double tighten that one. And there we go. Oh yeah. You can adjust the angle on this handle, which I completely forgot about. And that was a little disconcerting when it suddenly hit me. God damn it. Where'd that thing go? And that's why it fell out. It's not the right size Allen wrench. There you go. there we go. This actually feels a little smaller. Can this come down? No, that's as far down as it comes. Yeah, this actually is a little short for my hand, whereas the Warthog was a little tall. But that is something we will get used to. Right, now my challenge is clamping this to my desk. I'm going to need to make some room here. 1 second. Or, let me see if it squeezes in. No, it doesn't. Right, I am definitely going to have to look at some kind of solution for keyboards. And okay, that is right down. That's too low. See what I mean about don't weld things together? You're going to be adjusting them. I need to put this from the bottom all the way up to the top. I literally just put it together and need to undo it. It's something of an idea, Matt. Not a huge amount of an idea, but something. Do. Yeah, actually, Matt, that is not an unfair comment. As much as I spend all this money on very, very fancy flight sim gear, I'm absolutely terrible at flight sims. And I am very, very low. I'm an absolute scrub. I am very, very low skill level. But you know what? It's fun. I'm enjoying money spent on things that I enjoy. I'll be able to suck more elitely. How's that? Stuck in style, very much. Stuck with class. And the good news is I've got a public holiday tomorrow, so I can sit up all night playing with my new toys. We've been going now, by the way, hour and a bit. The stream's going well. The last stream that I did a couple of days ago, man, I was getting like 30% drop frames at one point. It was crazy. It settled down like after about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and it was like it nailed 6 kbs bitrate, but look, it was all over the place. I actually, Connor had not realized. It wasn't until you mentioned, my girlfriend, my young lady, she mentioned, oh, by the way, public holiday, what are you planning on doing with it? Because she lives down in Cape Town, I'm up in the Vaal. So we weren't, it's not like we were going to spend it together. He's like, so what are you going to do with it? It's like, wait, public holiday? And to my shame, I must admit, it's actually one of the more significant public, or it's commemorating one of the most significant events in our recent history. The Sharpeville shootings back in '76. Yeah. And I completely forgot about it. I have no idea what a nylock nut is, Gershel. So I will assume that they are. There's no nuts or there's no washers supplied. So, yeah, I'm going to assume that they are whatever kind of nut that you... I am definitely going to need this extension on there. So let me sort of put it on now. Because the way that this is set up, okay, it'll raise it up to about here, but yeah. Oh, that's too... Sorry, you can't... Maybe you can't see what I'm doing here. Oh well, I'm just basically... Let me see if I can... Where are we? Yeah, you can just about see. There we go. Let's do that for now. Excuse my fat belly. That's completely the wrong side of that. This is, I mentioned them earlier, but this is called a stick extension. What it is it extends the throw on the axes of the joystick, gives you more granular control. And in my case, conveniently raises the level of the stick. And now I can't reach. My table's in the way. I need to dig up. Sorry. Yeah, it raises the level of the stick up a little bit to where I can actually use it. No, too big. Looking for the itty bitty little. There's the itty bitty little one. Damn it. There you go. Check if the nut has a type of bluish lining. Cool, we'll have a look. I'm actually out of nuts for now, but the next time I open up something that's got nuts in it, I will have a look. Bugger. It's a different type of attachment. So this one isn't going to work. Why is that different? Did I put this on? No, I didn't put this on upside down. How could I put it on upside down? It's a different type of attachment. So I'm going to have to use one of those. So now to take this apart. Bugger. I had planned on using... This is going to change the way I had planned to set up the sticks. Oh well, no biggie. Oops. I may well do, Carnage. I may actually, depending on how much longer we're busy and how long this takes, I might actually... Oof, yeah, that is very nice. That's good. It's maybe a little bit higher than they really... That's a problem. Oh, no, it was bumping against the edge of the... Okay. I may switch over a little bit, depending on how much longer this takes. I may switch over to the game and do a little bit of setup and a little bit of flying in the game. But yeah, there we go. Right, that's that stick setup. I am going to have to fiddle with these extensions. Okay, so that's got the locking collar on the outside. I might have to visit a machining place here in Pretoria and get them to mill me some adapters, which I do not doubt will be extremely expensive. Okay, that's that set up. All right, let's get the next. Sorry, I'm sure people who work with tools on a regular basis are just horrified by the absolute mess that's on my desk right now and the lack of organization. And every time I like, where the hell is this and where's that? And yeah, shaking their head and going amateur. But yeah. Next piece. My coffee is getting cold. Oh, it still tastes nice. It's just cold. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining me for this and for watching the stream. Do appreciate it. Thank you again for the sub, Carnage, and Connor for the follow. All right, so base plate. I nearly threw the wrong thing. Yeah, different kind of tool, Virpil, I think. Right, lesson learned from last time. Let's put this one on first. I must remember to put these little dust covers back on. This one, yeah. Let's lift those. Ooh. Let's get those up. These must come. Sorry, bumping my head with that. I should probably have done this before I put the joystick on. But anyway. That one went in like, or fit like a glove. And of course, as soon as I say that, this one starts being sulky. Calcitrate, there we go. The good news is, as much as I'm putting the top on these, so it's going to be a little bit, I won't be able to get at the inner doings from above. I'll flip this over and show you in a minute. You can just as easily get into these from underneath. You just unscrew these, pop the bottom off, and you can adjust things. Right, let's have a look. Where's my serial number? Serial number 3942 for the base and 3518 for the joystick. Right, let's put that. No, let's just put that there for now. Oh, of course, that needs to go onto there. Man, it looks like a tactical nuke went off in here. I might stream later, Carnage, but you know, I might also have about 4 hours of cleaning crap up. Okay, let's have a look. Nope, looks like it's just plain aluminium, Goshel. No, no blue lining. Or no plastic insert. exercise. Right. This is where being a fat-fingered fool is a bit of a pain in the ass. I should have done this. Ah, it helps if you... Maybe if I looked at what I was doing, it would help. Shouldn't think so. I've never seen any complaints about that, Carnage. Evidently, all this stuff is very well put together and good quality, and nobody's ever complained about their mounts coming loose. But I mean, you'll feel it. You'll feel the wobble very quickly and be able to address that. Right. Not that one. This one. Yeah, that one. Right, this is a little annoying given I spent the extra money for it. This, I bought the long version of the mount. It's about an extra so much longer than the short mount you saw me putting together just now. And the reason for that is I anticipated using a much longer extension on the right-hand stick. I'll still be able to do it, but it's just not going to be now. I'm going to need to do some fiddling and... Quite possible. Carnage, sorry. That is something that pretty much every person I've seen who's done a putting together thing of this stuff is stay away from Loctite, stay away from what's it called? There's some kind of lubricant. People think that if you put it, there's the bearings in here, that if you lubricate them, that it'll work better, work longer. No, apparently that's a very bad idea. It's like extra friction that would need to be overcome, or it would, you'd need to apply extra friction to achieve the effect that you're actually trying to achieve, and that kind of thing. Loctite, God help you if you ever need to get them off again, that kind of, and so on and so forth. What was, okay, that was the silicate. There's the 10 mil. That's not the 10 mil. That's the 8 mil. Where's the other 10 mil? Did I? Right, this needed to come down a whole hell of a lot from what I remember. Okay, this needs to come off. It's very nice of them to give you this extra plate for whatever that is. Nope. Nope. Maybe. I guess. There's the 10 mil. There's the 10 mil. Very nice of them to give me a couple of extra bolts and stuff that I don't actually need for now. So I've got spares. I think I could maybe MacGyver a cell phone mount or something out of this thing. But for now, it's a plate that I don't need. It's just in the way. So I'm going to take it out. It could be, but they also sell a... I can't think that you'd put a button box on a long mount like this. I think, if anything, it's maybe for a bit of extra structural rigidity. Because this one, it's the long one. So you're going to be using this with an extension. So I've got to think that a button box, you're going to bang your hand or the joystick head against the top of it. But you can mount something to it. It's got screw holes that you could mount something to. But I don't think it's the... they normally, I think, mount the button boxes on the side here this way. And that's where the adapter goes. Excuse me. Right, let me not lose these. That can go in there. Or, instead of opening that box packet, I could just use these. There we go. I am going to smack myself square in the nuts with this thing any second now. Goshel, I realize and remember I owe you an apology. Weeks ago, I suggested and said, let's make a plan. We'll run you through those extra instances that you wanted for Isengard, was it? And yeah, I'm realizing we never did that. So my bad. I've got marking to do. I've got a paper that's due next week that I must mark. So maybe not next week, maybe the week after. The week after that, I'm on leave, so we can maybe make a plan for not next Tuesday, but the week after that Tuesday. So the 28th-ish, I think it is. Assuming you still want to, or if you wanted to maybe do something else, because what level is your warden now? Is it your warden on Evernight? Fuck. Kom hier, moer. Ah, there we go. Actually, that is maybe, I didn't think there, but that is maybe a way to get around Twitch. If I swear in Afrikaans, they might know I'm swearing, but they're not going to know what I'm saying. That is one of the nice things about Afrikaans, is you know you'll be, well, I suppose all the Germanic languages. You know you're being sworn at. Level 86, nice. I got some catching up to do. Yeah, my Cappy is, oops, level 69 now. Obligatory. Level 69. I apologize for being juvenile. Lotro point farming is a perfectly valid reason to do instances. And I could certainly do with some Lotro points myself. I want to feed these through. Let me maybe do it this way for a little bit of cable management. This already, one of the complaints I've always had about, actually no, I've not always had it. Let's not bullshit. One of the problems with the Warthog, which was not a problem when I bought it, and it's not really a problem now, but here, because of the different setup, the way that the Virpils are set up is it's a roller that rolls along a cam like that. Whereas the Warthog is a ball that sits in a socket and twists like that. All right, cheers, Bob. Have a great supper, and yeah, we'll see you a bit later. But yeah, going back to that, the difference between this system and that system is that this, you get something called stiction. All individual USB connectors, Goshal, and I've got a little 4-port hub over there that I'm going to plug them all into. Yeah, you get a bit of stiction at the center, so your fine movement around the middle of the stick. I don't know if you can actually notice it from the stream, but it's a little bit. There's a very, very hard center, whereas on these Virpil ones, it's smooth as silk around the middle. And I can make it smoother by adjusting these springs and cams, which I will do later, not for the stream. I'll finish setting up now, and I'll run through the software a little bit and get us into a game so that we can see how these perform. All right, one thing I am going to do though is you might remember these have got a twist on them, which on the left stick is fantastic because that is going to get used for vertical up and down thrust. On the right-hand stick, that a lot of people use as rudder pedals, which I don't need to because I have very nice rudder pedals already. And that is not the right one. So you've got a little screw on the back of the stick, which you can use to lock down that axis so that it doesn't move. All right, and I just ran into why you need to lock this collar. All right, Carnage, thanks for being. Thanks again for the sub. I really do appreciate it, especially like 2 subs in a week. And yeah, we will maybe catch you a bit later. The VOD will be there if you'd like to watch the rest of it. Right, but we're now going to get into the possibly a bit more boring side of things, because now it's going to be software setup. Where's my mouse pointer? Let's shut that down. There we go. Yep. All right. I need to unplug that, and I need to unplug that. I need to put that cable in there as well. Sorry, 1 second. I've got one more cable to attach. They give you nice long cables at least, which is good. Oof. I'm on leave week after next. And I'm planning on taking my computer apart and rebuilding everything and redoing my cables, because God only knows what it is. But my cables, I was speaking about this to Ed this morning, Big Ed on his stream. It's I can do my cables as neatly as it's possible for me to do them. And within 2 days, they're a tangled rat's nest of mess for some obscure reason, and I do not know why. That needs to go. Under that, excuse me, 1 second. Right, for anybody watching this now or who watches it later, one important recommendation for when you're setting up your new Virpil toys. My understanding is that this is the manufacturer's recommendation, and it makes sense. But you need to first update the firmware. So you need a flash firmware, and you need to update calibration of axes before you can use them. Do not have more than one device plugged in at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to sit with you can break your stuff, which is not great. I don't actually know that that's working, so let me just turn that off. So once you've spent how long? How long have we been doing this? 1 and 3/4 hours setting up your stuff. Shit, I just dropped half my cables. Oh well. Plug them in one at a time. Wait for the software to do its thing. that caused a moment of disconcertion. Right. Picks up the new device. First things first, you go to your firmware and update, which takes a minute or two. Oh, actually not a minute or two, 30, 40 seconds or whatever. Oh, that coffee is ice cold. Oh, bugger. You need to first tell the firmware which one to update. So this part of the, here where it says profile, choose the base. I've got the Mongoose CM T50 CM3, and I have a Alpha Prime right plugged into that one. Just confirm to make very sure that is this one. Yep, Alpha Prime right. Now you go to firmware and update it. Pro streamer, pro gamer, really know what I'm doing. I did select the base. Sorry, I'm having trouble here. VPC no profile. So let's give this a name. So right prime 32 split. Create the profile. Oh, okay, there we go. Right, you can't see it, but it's come up with a bunch of flashy, gaudy LED stuff, which I really don't like. Certainly not blue and purple and stuff, so I'm going to be changing that. Actually, let's... where are we? Here we go. Let me just... Sorry, 1 second. I just need to fix this. Pro streamer. Very, very pro streamer. There we go. I don't know if you can see it too well given the ambient light, but yeah, you can maybe see it reflecting off my hand. There's LEDs around the top, and on the side, you can just maybe see it reflecting off my hand. You can very quickly turn those off. In fact, let me show you how you can turn them off. It's just that all. I'm just going to turn all of them off. Right. Every time you make a change in the Virpil software, you need to save it to the device. This is one of the nice things about Virpil devices. Is the firmware is on the actual device. There's a controller board in the base of the joystick that remembers all the settings that you program into it now. So you don't have to, if you ever find yourself, you're taking your computer or your joystick to another computer or whatever, you don't need to have the Virpil software on that computer, and you don't need to reconfigure the device on that computer. You plug it in and it will work because it tells Windows exactly how you've configured it now. So as you can see, LEDs are off. Right, let's update the firmware. And hopefully it works this time. It should do. Yeah, this software is a little bit complicated and tricky to use and tricky to get used to. And there's a whole bunch of things in it that you can... It's really powerful software. It's like Excel. If you know what you're doing with Excel, you can... It's magic. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's a confusing, daunting... There we go. That updated. I turned that LED off for a reason. Stop your shit. Okay, so I need to turn the LEDs off again. All right, it resets the profile when you update the firmware. So let's just set everything off for now. Okay, that obviously onboard RGB LED. Let's just set everything like that. I'm obviously not clicking the selecting the right option, but I'm just going to turn everything down to a muted light color for now. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. All right, but that's a purely cosmetic thing. What I actually want to do is we need to... If you have a look over here, the axes are all a mess. So we need to configure these. So you move up, down, you move all the different controls in the different directions. So the little thumbstick up and down, left and right. And then that brake axis. Actually, yeah, that button, that is one complaint. There's a little button right there at the base of the stick on the left-hand side, which on this is very difficult to... It's supposed to be with your pinky, but I mean, you're seeing how I'm having to turn my hand, so I think the easiest is going to be just bring your hand down a little bit and click it with one of these two. Which axes are now calibrated, even if they're a little bit not perfectly aligned. That's fine. Because in the software, it will set them now at... Yep. Actually, that is a lot better these days. You don't really have to do that. One of the reasons you're doing it in the on these Virpil sticks is you can, in the software for the joystick, set it, and this is something I'm going to do on the left-hand stick. You can set it so that a saturation curve, basically. Now, like I said previously, I want to use the horizontal axis, the where are we? This one, the left and right axis. I don't actually want the stick to move this much. I want to get full range of movement from a deflection like that. Largely because of the amount of space that I don't have available to me here because of the throttle. So I want to be able to get full range of movement like that. And that's something that you can do in the software with the Virpils. Yeah, I went for Bob. I got the Virpil stuff. I bought Virpil mounts for all three, which are very nice mounts. But I'm going to have to, I might need to review that decision at some point, particularly in terms of the throttle, because there's no forwards and backwards. which is something I'm going to need, particularly when it comes to if I want to use the throttle and the side stick at the same time. It's going to be very tricky because this, for example, flying DCS is quite uncomfortable. I mean, you can see it from the way I'm leaning over to reach. So I'm going to have to look at the way I've got things set up here and move things forwards and backwards and that kind of thing. So I might end up actually replacing at least one of these mounts with another one, a different one. All right, so let's see. Oh, yes, I need to configure. Where are we? This one, RX and RY. Access to button. What I'm doing here is this little thumbstick here on the right-hand side. Right. This is, like I said, it's a game controller thumbstick. What I'm doing now here, it's a little bit tricky to see probably, is you can convert the axis into buttons as well, or have it remain as an axis and then have a button, simulated button press at the top and the bottom, or the extreme end of each axis. Or you can set it up that 0 to 20% of the axis, 20 to 40, 40 to 60. Oh, okay. Cool. We'll do Bob. I'll be here. So you can simulate a button press for all the deflection along the length of the axis, which can be quite useful. Now, in this context, I want to be able to use this thumbstick as the trim hat in DCS World and for power management in Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous. So, whereas an axis won't work for that, whereas the button press at the extreme end, I'll still be able to use this as an axis for like on foot or whatever. But if I push it all the way up, it'll activate the button. Right, there we go. So I now have a button, 4 new extra buttons on here. So I now need to go into the software here. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Normally there's 32 buttons, which is the maximum that Windows recognizes from a joystick device. So if you're going to create more buttons... Oh, wait, I need to save that to the device. You need to do some funny jiggery stuff with either this piece of software, or you need to run something like Joystick Gremlin or something similar, so you can actually use all the buttons. Because you can go up to as you can see, it goes all the way up to 128 buttons. There we go, 33, 34, 35, 36. You see how 32 buttons are mapped here on the right-hand side, but here on the left-hand side, I now have 4 additional buttons. So I now need to go into the software here and configure. And one funny thing about the Virpil software, particularly on the throttle, is these buttons are nicely aligning. Button 1 is button 1, button 2 is button 2, etc., etc., all the way up to button 36. I need to go back and just double check that I mapped those properly. On the throttle, there we go. I got that wrong. Button 35. On the throttle, it's a whole other ball game. 30. Button 1 is actually button 6. Button 22 is button 15 and that kind of thing. It's ridiculous. All right, so every step, save it to the device. Not a problem. Thanks, Connor. Right, let's wait for it to... Okay, it's done its thing. Let's bring up the joystick tester. Oh, wait, you need to select the... There we go. Right, this is to make sure all the axes work. And all the... Ah, there we go. It's because I've got this split as the two different devices. There we go. I've got one joystick with... I must have double mapped one of the buttons. I'll go back and check that now quickly. I've got one joystick with 32 buttons and one joystick with 4 buttons. Now, which one of these did I double map? 32, 33, 34? 33, 34? 35. Save to device. This is why you check things. Right, there we go. All 4 of those buttons are working. There's that one. Five. Which ones am I missing? Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, those are... there we go. There's 6. There's 32. Oh, there we go. Scroll wheel, 21, 22. Click and click. Which is button 14? 13. 14 is that one. There we go. So all the buttons are working. The joystick is working. All the triggers are working. All right, so that's this one set up. Now I just want to save this, and we'll set up the next one. So, right, prime, split, export profile to file. Oh no, wait, I need a... I think I just broke the software. Yeah, I think I confused things. I needed to create that profile. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Oof, this has locked up good and solid. And now it's locked up my task manager. The stream may come to a sudden end. So I do apologize. Let's see. Okay, right, it's closed. Hopefully that didn't just cause major problems. Sorry, I'm having a bit of technical difficulty here, but we'll see if we can work our way through it. Okay, there we go. That's working. Okay, let me make sure everything is set up the way it's supposed to be. Okay, those buttons are still there. LEDs are the way that I wanted them. The axes are configured. Alright, so I need to create this profile. So it was right, prime, 32 split. That didn't seem to do what I wanted it to. Okay, let's... Okay, there we go. I think we're... Now we're in business. Okay. A6 button, split. Right, I'm going to need to make different profiles. For different software, but I'll do that later. That can, we can do it another stage, another point. Right, for now, let's, okay, it's reset my LEDs. I don't know why it's done that. Let's reset those back to the way I wanted them. Sorry to do that to you. That unfortunately is one of the things. It when it updates the firmware, it reloads the USB device. It looks like it reset that configuration that I did. Yes, it reset the configuration I did. I'm gonna have to do that again. Oh well. I'm gonna have to do all of it again. Save calibration to profile. It's because I created a new profile, that's why. Yeah, this software is really powerful and really flexible, but you can also... Yes, welcome to Virpil software. I need to recreate these button assignments. Sorry, gosh, you are going to have to unfortunately put up with me doing this a fair bit more, unfortunately. Right, let's see if I can get these. Right, there we go. Let's test the config. Oh, no, I need to save that first. Sorry, it's going to beep again. You don't want to have the extensions. Just get the... If you want to go with the Virpil stuff, Bob, just get the normal Virpil mounts just make sure you get the short one and get the appropriate base plate. So the short mount is standard, but the throttle has its own. You know what? 1 second. Here we go. Go to the shop. Go to mounts. You're looking for. You can get the really short one, which I wouldn't recommend. Or you go for the. I'd say get the short one. That's the one that I've got here on the left. That's what my throttle and my left-hand stick are plugged into. That should give you a bit of a indication of how long they are. They're about yay long. All right, and 50 euros. And you come down here and you select the right one. Which warbird do you have? Do you have the standard warbird or the warbird D? You choose that one, and it will update the price. Or come down here and get the throttle one. Let me show you those. That's a desk mount. That's version 2. Here we go. Here's the, I think this is the, nope, that's the old one. Mongoose, that's the one I've got. That's the old or the new warbird. There you go. This is the one that you want. For the standard warbird base, you can see the it's, yep, it's got the right cutouts for your device. So that one, that's the one that you want for the warbird. And this, excuse me, is the one you want for the throttle. I think this works for all the different versions of the throttle. So yeah, there we go. And that is blowing me out completely. So let's stick that up there. There we go. 1 second, back to... all right, now you've confused me and I've forgotten what I'm doing. Did that sort you out? Does that answer your question? Do you not want to have extensions? Yeah. Well, I'm using these standard short ones, and I've got the sticks at the top of the top of the mounts, and I'm still using extensions quite comfortably. All right, what was I doing? I think, oh yeah, profile. All right, I need to, okay, so let's save this to device. I need to do this with a 32 button split, and I need to do it without the 32 button split. So I need to create another profile quickly, and then I need to basically do exactly what I've just done on the left stick again. So this is going to take another, how long have I been busy doing this? It's going to take another 20-30 minutes to do, unfortunately. All right, so export profile, right climb, and this is going to be the annoying thing, is when I want to play Elite Dangerous, specifically Elite Dangerous, I'm going to need to come in here and change my profile, which is going to be a bit annoying. All right, so import profile. I think I am going to actually play some Elite now. Did you just reset my configuration? Because I'm going to be irritated. It reset my configuration. I have not figured out how this works, obviously. 1 second, let me try that again. Import profile. I think you need to do it per device, Goshal, unfortunately. This is a bit annoying. It looks like you have to... No, I'm doing something wrong. I am doing something wrong. Oh well. I'll figure it out. For now, I'm just going to set this up as a 36 button device, or 2 devices with the split. And then get on to actually playing a game, testing this out in a game. At least it doesn't take too long to do once you've done it a few times. But this is going to be very annoying until such time as I've figured out what I'm doing wrong. And this is... Alright, this is now set up as a 32 button device and a 4 button device. So let's leave that the hell alone for now. Right, let's fix the LEDs. And then we'll quickly set up the left-hand stick. And then hopefully we'll take a 5-minute break and then play some Elite Dangerous. But that is going to be another 20-ish minutes or so. Right, I think I have done everything that needs doing for now. Okay, great. So we shut that down, We unplug this to be on the safe side. Excuse me 1 second while I find the other... Just make very sure it's the right device. Yep, it's that one. Plug that in there. Relaunch the software. There we go. That took a little long to pick up. Okay, this is weird. It's only picking up 2 of the axes. It's only picking... Okay. Give me a minute. Let me fiddle with this and see if I can figure it out. Hopefully I've not trashed a cable somewhere. Okay, let's shut that down for now. It will be very sad. Because, yeah, sending this back to Lithuania for replacement, or RMA, is going to be a frickin' nightmare. So let me make sure all of these connectors are in properly. Like that. Still only picking up. Okay, well let's... Oh, of course, I'm an idiot. Okay, 1 second. All right. Hopefully that was just me being dumb. Split by 32 buttons. I need to tell it which base it is, which grip it is, and create the profile. Pepcac. That looks a little bit more encouraging. Right, it's picked it up. It's called it the right thing. And there's all my axes. Awesome. That, okay, panic moment. What time is it? 18:30. Okay, I've still got time to go buy whiskey. That was not a comfortable moment. I don't mind saying that. That was a very uncomfortable, unhappy moment. But yeah, panic over. All right, sorry, Goshel, you're gonna have to put up with a whole bunch of beeping and connecting and disconnecting again for a while. Oof. This stick, that stick is 250 euros. The base it's on is 320 euros. So yeah, it was an expensive moment of panic. All right, axes, let's calibrate. Right, remember this one has a... Oh, wait a minute. Did I... Was I an idiot? Yes, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I spent... I don't think you caught the beginning of the stream, but one of the reasons I bought all this stuff, excuse me, is the... I'll show you, actually. This thing. My trusty Warthog. I've been using this for like 12 years. And it's had some very hard, very hard use. And this little button, not that you're going to be able to see it very well, this little button, what happened to my frame bit right there? Oh, well, it's back up again. This button wore out. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it fixed. Because, you know, we've got local Thrustmaster sales agents, but we haven't actually got local Thrustmaster repair agents that I've been able to find. So I was thinking I might have to replace this. And I was thinking that is going to be expensive because, you know, that's about $200, $225 to replace that. But I was lucky. I managed to find a place that... it's actually, let me shout him out. It's a guy called Hat. He operates a little side business out of his house called Simulator Cave, where he fixes and, well, he builds sim racing rigs and he fixes and repairs and like sim racing gear, you know, the steering wheels and that kind of thing. But he happily was able to fix this for me, and plus another error that came up in the meantime. But because it's a side business, he took him like about 10 days or whatever. And in that 10 days, I didn't know if he was going to be able to fix it. So I was contemplating, maybe I need to replace this. So I was looking at my options. And one of them was just buying a new Warthog throttle. There's a place near me called Eve Tech that sell them, and actually sell them really reasonably priced. Normally a Warthog throttle is like, if you go on Amazon, they're like $300. Whereas I can buy one here brand new for like $220, 200, depending on the exchange rate on a given day. So it would have been painful, but, you know, doable to replace the throttle if I needed to. But then I started hearing about these, you know, how good these left sticks, particularly these angled left sticks were. So I started looking into, you know, I like the look of that. Should I get one? And I had a look at the VKB, or the VKB stuff, which is very reasonably priced. The VKB version of this, certainly the lower end version of this, is about 180 euros for the stick and the base. And they're well made. It's plastic, which I didn't like. That's what put me off. And the internals of the gimbal are good. Apparently, they're very, very good. But it's got those really thin little wires with really those teeny tiny little connectors. If you remember the old CD-ROM drives, you remember the little audio connector, that little 3-wire tiny plastic thing. The connectors internally are like that, which I hated. I did not like the look of that. So I started looking at the Virpil alternative, which is significantly more expensive. But remember, like I say, I've got my Thrustmaster Warthog in for repair, and it's going to cost whatever it costs to repair that, or at worst, it's like $220, $230 to replace with a brand new unit. But I had a let's just be honest, sudden rush of shit to the brain, and decided, nope, I am now going to go ahead and instead of spending $225 at most buying a brand new throttle, I'm going to buy a whole 2 joysticks, a throttle, and a set of rudder pedals and the mounts, and $225 at what I spent, and this was more. This was a lot more. I don't know why the hell I did it. Yeah, a little bit of a brain fart going on there. But anyway, I now have some very, very, very nice. Where is that twist axis? I'm not seeing the twist axis. Yes, this is pretty much the best quality. You can get, there are other stuff, the other ones that you can buy, but they're dramatically more expensive. They really do jump in price. You get force feedback joysticks rather than rumble. You get seats. Why is this? Sorry, I'm not finding my twist axis, which is a problem. I'm gonna have to look into that. I may be doing something wrong. Yeah, the rumble stuff you generally get on the seats. You actually get whole rigs that will throw you around. But you do get force feedback on joysticks as well. But that's like I said, that's the next step up from this stuff. That's where it gets very expensive. Am I doing something wrong, or is that? Did I forget to maybe? Right, that's finished. It doesn't. XY. That's this. Are these buttons? No, where's this axis? It doesn't appear to be picking up the... Did I remember to update the firmware? I don't think... I didn't update the firmware. So maybe that's why. So let's do that. Which means everything that I just did, I'm going to have to do again. But as long as it picks up the extra 2 axes, I'll be happy. Why am I suddenly getting dropped frames? Not many, but still. Okay. It is still not picking up that axis. Oh yeah, the reason that is not centering is because of the extension. It's the weight of the stick is actually pulling it over to the side. But once we save it, it will. There we go. It's centered. So I'm going to have a little bit more travel to the right than I am to the left, which is fine. Hmm. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? It's picking up the main X and Y. It's picking up the mini stick. But there's no... It's not picking up the twist. And it's definitely... What am I doing wrong? One second. Let me Google this. Uh... Hmm. You know what? Let's unplug this again. No twist grip. Split by 32 numbers. And we're missing... We still don't have a... Okay, let's start again from scratch. Okay, cancel. Profile. Create profile. I've got the right thing. That's selected. There's no panel. No twist grip. Not selected. Split by 32 buttons. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with gas. I need to adjust that. Yep, no, I don't know why we're having the problem, but it's fixed now. I don't know what the issue was, but let's just confirm. Y, X, Z. There we go. Cooking with gas. Right. Be still, my beating heart. Yeah, when you're as old and clumsy and fat, fumble-fingered as I am, when stuff does that, it's like, shit, have I broken it? That was not a comfortable moment. Right. And I still don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I should be able to just click set all on board, but that didn't seem to work. Right, now I need to set up those buttons. Uh, $34, $34. All right, so save that. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, Bob, but I couldn't find the twist axis, the Z axis. It wasn't appearing. It took I had to like redo the profile and redo the calibration and reflash the firmware like 2-3 times before it worked. All right. Let's launch that again. Of course, need to select it. Right, let's make sure these buttons are... Okay, there we go. That's all 4 buttons. That's that axis. Right, button 1, button 2, button 3. Ah, there we go. So that's button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, button 5. Button 6 is clicking there. Button 32 is there. Actually, it would be... I'm going to have to see if I can... it's very easy to... I'm going to have to see if I can... Let me see if I can stiffen this axis up a little bit. I don't want to lock it. I just want to make it a little bit stiffer. It's too easy to have accidental input when you're reaching for buttons. Nope, that's locked. Okay. No, all that does is it doesn't. Yeah, I'm just going to have to learn to. Which button am I? There we go. And there we go. That's all of those working. And that's all of those working. Right, 100%. Yep. This feels weird because it's lower down than what I'm used to. All right, well, I think we are now finally configured all the joysticks. So I think I'm going to take a 5-minute break because I've been at this for 2 hours or nearly 3 hours. So we're going to take 5 minutes. So if you'll excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm going to get up, stretch legs, maybe make some more coffee. I'm going to plug everything back in the way it needs to be plugged in, and then, yeah, we'll fire up some Elite Dangerous. So I'll just need to remember to change the stream title. But yeah, if you'll excuse me, I will be back shortly. Oops, bit of finger trouble there. And back again. Actually, I think let's turn that off. Let us update this. That should have updated. Close that down. Everything's plugged in and working. Hopefully, I don't have an update. Yes, typically in centimeters. Right, no update. Now we're going to have about 10 minutes worth of assigning buttons to different things, unfortunately. Oh, 15, what the hell? Oh, that's better. Uh, 1 second. Oop. Right, how far from the table the stick and the throttle is? Okay, the stick is 25 centimeters. The throttle, remember, has got a fair amount of forward and backward play in it. At the end of its travel, as far back as it goes, 20 centimeters. That, I think, will go as little... Hey, Blue, how are you doing? Really good to see you here. It's been too long. But yep. Oh, yep, actually, let's do a shout out. Lou, it's been a while since, I think she's only streamed the once that I'm aware of. But, let's see if we can encourage her to stream again, because it was very pleasant watching her stream. There we go. Of course I have to, Lou. Sorry. But yeah, no, I hope you're well. We hope to see you this weekend as well. We've missed having you around. Have you been busy with the raiding with in Lotra? I hope you're having fun. Hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, Bob, at its shortest travel... Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. I moved. Is... I need to measure the stick, the throttle again. Sorry, I'll be with you now. That is still 20. Sorry. Still 20. And that's at its not quite maximum rearward. It looks like it goes to about 23. Yeah, 23 centimeters at its maximum extension backwards, and about 17, 18 at its closest travel. Oh, great stuff. And good. I hope you're enjoying your weekends. But yeah, hopefully you join us again sometime soon. It would be great. Right, ship control. I'm only going to bother with ship controls for now. So let's set up a completely new profile. Your axis is that one. Roll axis is that one. Pitch axis is this one. Lateral thrust axis is that one. Vertical is that one. Flight throttle is that one. Toggle flight assist is that one. Engine boost is that one. Did I have that one? Oh, wait. That one. So this is going to be a few minutes of setting things up. No, that doesn't. I'm going to have to fiddle with that. Targeting. Nope. These buttons is one thing about Virpil is these buttons are very, very... Yes, kid in the candy store right now. Kid in the candy store right now. That one. That one. That one. Okay, that is not working the way I wanted it to. T-Mag Navlock. Why is there a... Oh, it's that. It's picking up the... That one. That one. So many new buttons. Oh, that one. Secondary fire, that one. Nope. It's a completely different layout and all the buttons are different shapes and sizes, and this is going to take some getting used to. Sensor zoom axis. No, not the axis. Engines up. Weapons. Nope. Right. Shield left. Down. Cargo steep I'll leave for now. Landing gear was... How did I have that set? That one. It's too easy to hit multiple buttons at the same time. This is going to take a lot of getting used to. Ship lights. See, I hit the wrong button there. That's better. Right, that will actually do for now. All we're going to do is do a bit of flying. And given I'm probably going to crash this thing because all the axes are weirdly inverted and the wrong way around, I can do it in a cheap ship. Reset that. Oh wait, I need to program that. Sorry, one more set of bindings. Nope, I think I actually... There we go. I have no idea what that does. Right, we'll come back to that. This I need to change. Ooh. Nope, screwed up. Sorry. Too many buttons. Haven't actually used it yet, Carnage. It's taken until now. Welcome back, by the way. It's taken until now to get set up and configured. But we're getting there. It's the buttons are all in slightly different places and they're different shapes and sizes and that kind of thing, so it's very easy to hit the wrong thing. But it's just a case of getting used to things. Right, now we're going to find out how badly back to front all my axes are. Right, rudder is already back to front. Okay. Let's get out of the station carefully, because half of this stuff is back to front. And hella sensitive. And it's breaking my head. Sorry, I normally fly better than this. I swear, I normally do fly better than this.
Landing gear retracted.
Awesome. Hope that was nice. Hope you enjoyed it. Alright, let's... Alright, so pitch is inverted, yaw is inverted. Okay, let's stand by 1 second. I can't quite see if lateral thrust is... But I need to put some dead zones in here. Okay, but let me get controls. Alright, so... I think that needs to be inverted. Flight throttle is fine. Yaw needs to come back to there. Pitch needs to be inverted. Okay, roll is, oops, also... Okay, this four-way hat is a button I'm really not liking. I think it's just a case of needing to get used to it, though. But... Alright, let's see. Okay, you've got a lot more granular control using the joystick axis, but yeah, no. It works. Right, let's find somewhere to go to.
Landing gear retracted.
That would explain why I'm going so slowly.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, I'm going to go down to a planetary surface and do a little bit of flying down there where you can actually see
Frameshift drive
the thanks, Cottage. I'll grab something to drink in a moment. Actually, let me do it now quickly. Okay. I am gonna have to put some dead zones onto this because it's hella sensitive. And hopefully one of these days we get to go down and explore atmospheric planets like that. Yeah, for now in Elite Dangerous, every single one of those stars is a star in the Milky Way galaxy. It's as realistic and as accurate as we can make it. That's looking in towards galactic center. That is the Milky Way. Oof, my track IR is a bit messed up. Every single one of those stars in the game you can travel to. So yeah, if you're into space and enjoy your space games, Elite Dangerous is a good choice. Star Citizen, another very good choice. Much more ambitious in scope than Elite, but it's also a lot bigger and, you know, better funded and so on. So it's, I don't know if it's really fair to compare the two. They're sort of, you can compare them in terms of they're in the same genre, but in terms of comparing them for funding and development and that size of teams and so on, that's a very different kettle of fish. Right, I definitely need to work on this left-hand stick and take out those springs and figure out the drag clutch. And I definitely need to put a dead zone on the right-hand side, because the slightest little bit of movement is translating into movement in the in-game. Yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to. How are we doing for performance? Why am I dropping frames? Unacceptable. Is the how's the stream for everybody? Is it smooth, or are we having trouble? Is it hiccuping and so on?
Orbital flight engaged.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Carnage. Right, thanks, Luke. Okay, great stuff. Thanks, Gotcha. Yeah, for now, if you're not familiar with Elite Dangerous, you can land on, for now, you can land on planets that haven't got an atmosphere, or have a very thin and tenuous atmosphere. So you can't land on planets like Earth for now, or planets with, like Mars even, where there's a thick atmosphere. But something like Europa, where it's a very, very thin and tenuous atmosphere, that's the kind of planet you can land on in Elite for now. We're hoping to see more development and, you know, things develop where we can actually start landing on atmospheric planets and interacting with, like, fauna and advanced fauna and flora. They have started bringing in plant life that you can go and scan and make. It's one way of making quite a bit of money in the game, actually. Right. But yeah, that's not gonna happen just yet. That's a little ways off. Right, what I'm doing now is I'm heading down onto the planet's surface. I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of flying in between like these hills and so on that are off to the left there. That is hard work holding that stick in place. There is a very stiff spring on it.
Constellation Alpha, Romeo, flight control online. Welcome, Commander. Request docking permission if you wish to land.
Yeah, the ship that I'm flying right now is a very, very basic little simple one-seater. It's the starter ship. The very, very basic starter ship. So it's got really crappy hyperspace range. It's slow. It's got two dinky little pea shooter guns. But it's also very cheap. So when I inevitably crash it because I'm not used to these controls, it's not going to cost me much to recover from it.
Flight assist on. Flight assist on. Flight assist on. Flight assist on.
Oh, okay, so
Flight
that's
assist off.
set to...
Flight
Oop!
assist on.
That was very close. Okay, let me stop fiddling with that for now. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Taking damage. Shields offline.
That's what I mean. Just when you start getting cocky.
Shields online.
Yeah, a large part of my problem is that, like I say, things are in a different place. Buttons are a different shape. The stick is a different shape. It's actually, it feels a bit small for my hand. I'm gonna need to fiddle with things. Because it's, I got big hands, but they're not that big. And the left-hand stick is actually quite comfortable. It's the right-hand stick that's a... Well, let me... I don't know if that's really true, though. Oop. That nearly scraped the paint again. Sorry, I need to adjust the control. Oh wait, I don't think... Let's come on. All right, take care, guys. Well, thanks for coming into the stream. Really appreciated you being around. Have a good one. Yeah, I'm not going to be going for too much longer. I mean, this is my longest stream ever. It's 3.5 hours now, so I'm going to need to get up and like make supper myself and so on. So I'll be ending this probably in the next sort of 10 minutes. But yeah, have a good one and enjoy supper. Regards to your good lady. And I forgot what I was doing. Oh yes. Mind switches. There's a way of setting context menus in here somewhere, where the same button will do different things depending on what you're looking at. And I'm not seeing it. Because that was the problem there, as I was excuse me, trying to sensor zoom. You shall do charge. Ah, there we go. On. Apply. Back to options. Return the game. Resume. I am... Nope, it's still not doing it. Maybe I've set it up wrong. That might also be why. Okay, so the button I'm hitting now, right now, changes the radar zoom, as you can see at the bottom down there. Right, when I'm on the user interface, I wanted to... There we go. No. Oof, this is going to take so much getting used to.
Clearance granted. Proceed to landing pad 01.
Landing gear deployed.
Alright, this is already... You've got so much more granular control over your... Okay, I'm coming into this completely the wrong way around. There we go. That I could have done with the old joystick. Actually, I would have been better, but because I'm used to it. But even with these being brand new joysticks that I'm struggling with, actually, I am struggling with them. That was easier than it was before using the throttle and the joystick. These two joysticks really do... It really does. It completely changes things. It's very nice. But yep, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think I am going to wrap up the stream for now. It's been Yeah, 3.5 hours. My back is a bit sore, my ass is a bit sore. I need to get up and stretch legs and make supper and so on. But yeah, thank you very, very much to everybody for coming along and spending time with the stream. A very, very long stream. I don't know the Elite Dangerous streaming community particularly well, but let's have a look and see if I can find somebody in Elite Dangerous that I can... Oh, there's a lot of people watching. I'm guessing... who are they all watching? No idea. Let's have a look. I don't recognize... Well, I recognize the one guy, but let me not drop in on him. Let's drop in on a smaller streamer. Let's go say hello to Erolem237. So if you'll give me 1 second while I set up the raid. This always... There we go, found them. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, again, thanks very much. I might stream again a little bit later. It'll probably be DCS once I've had a chance to fiddle with these controls and set them up for that and so on and so forth. But yeah, feel free to pop by then. In the meantime, thanks for joining us. Have a great day. And yeah, please say hello to Errol237 when we get over that side. But for now, take care. See you again soon.